everybody. Hello, hello. So, we are going to be going live soon, and I just wanted to make sure that we have everything lined up here for that process. So, I am going to introduce myself. And so this is Meditative Mind. I like to put on YouTube just in general, but I also like to make sure that I am telling exactly what is being played. So Meditative Mind, it's called Raise Your Vibration, and it is 432 hertz. So in the background, I do like to play this type of music just in general to give me a sense of ease. It kind of realigns your body and it realigns your mindset. So let's see. Hi, everyone. My name is Kerry Morgan. So I just want to say thank you so much for coming on today and watching this, even if it is a replay and you're watching it after because you maybe had something to do at this moment at home. That's totally great and awesome. And soon I'm going to bring in Michelle, and we're both going to talk about the general area and the environment of your home and how that affects your workspace and what you should do with your workspace. And we're going to go over a couple other things. But let me just reassure you that I've been doing this for 20 years. I love energy. I love doing, when I went for my yoga training over 10 years ago, I just loved the process. I loved the ability to show up, but also be engaging in a life that brings you peace, that brings you joy, that you can understand a process of where you come from and where you are going. Right. So, yoga has helped me over the years come back to my breath, come back to my reality, come back to myself. And I think we forget about that and how important self is, self mastery, self training, self rituals, things that you're doing every single day really starts to turn into your future self. So, that being said, it is a great time for us to untrain our mindsets right now. This is a great way for us to reestablish new habits that we've always wanted to commit to. Maybe we didn't have enough time, maybe we didn't have enough energy. So, this is a wonderful time for that. Um, I just want to let you know that I'm super excited that you are willing to look for other ways to commit to yourself, but also to commit to your reality, the reality that you're living in right now at this moment. So that could be as simple as sitting with your breath, right? Refocusing in on your breath by gently breathing. You could be inhaling and exhaling. You can be doing a lot of other things that allow for you to be a part of this process. Okay, so I'm going to bring Michelle on right now. And we are going to get started soon. Let me just open up everything. Okay, so I think Michelle's on.
Yeah.
Hi. So we are live right now, and I just kind of discussed and went over a couple things of just me doing yoga and how that helped me, and just overall the experience of your space, but your environment on how that relates to our everyday living right now, and how important that is for us to understand our space and how we should be connecting in that space. So I just talked for a couple minutes, but I'll let Michelle say hi and introduce herself.
Hey, hi. So I'm Michelle Sapp, and I have been working in the design industry for over 20 years. I started my career in Washington, D.C., and then moved to Pittsburgh, where I continued to work in high-end residential design. I am ASID affiliated, and I have been with our house for the past 3.5 years, most recently as a senior designer on staff.
Awesome. So we had some bullet points of some of the things we were going to talk about. So I'll go first, and I'll start about mindset and clarity when you're starting your day like a warrior, because I feel like that is very important on how you start our day. I even find myself like, am I getting out of bed today? Like, you're just like,
Yeah.
really, you get in that mood. And even though I'm a high energetic person, I still can drop down into this lower level of in vibration or energy or just the way I'm feeling. So I have to really check myself, and I have to know and try to give myself guidelines of where I'm working in my space, right? Because mindset is the key. So when you're coming to a space, you want to be clear on your intentions, on what you want to get done in that space. You also want to have a mindset around your identity in that space. So could that be as simple as, if you have that desk set up for that time and what you're doing in that time, but coming in as that person, because maybe you're in pajamas, right? So you don't feel like that person you're supposed to be when you're in an office, because when you're in the office, you get dressed, you drive, right? You show up, but you're mentally showing up before you even get there. When you're home, you're out of sync with those types of realities because you're home. You want to feel relaxed, you want to feel safe, you want to feel peaceful, right? And comforting that you're home. So when you're doing work from home, it's a great idea for you to connect with your mindset and your clarity when you're sitting on that space on who you need to show up as. Mentally get that feeling, maybe dress the part, do what you want to, do what you need to feel a certain way when you're working so that you can create this type of energy around the space that you're showing up for. So, Michelle, you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, so I would say, some of us are used to working from home, others of us not so much. I'm used to working in multiple ways in the field, out of a showroom, occasionally from home, but this was a major sea change for me, and I think it's been that way for a lot of us. So I decided that I was going to create a workspace that works for me. And some people have a designated home office. If you have a couple of people in the house that are working from home, maybe one person's using that designated office, the other person still needs to have a designated space to work as well. I decided to kind of shift some things around and use a like an antique table, became a writing desk for me. And It's great because it's one of my favorite pieces. So it makes me feel good just being in this little space, right? And then what I decided to do was just surround myself with the things that make me feel calm and, again, more in control in a situation that is, very disconcerting at times. So I also like to create a space where fill it without cluttering it with things that are meaningful to me. So that might be pictures of my kids, for instance, artwork that I love, a little floral arrangement. I have some examples. So something like this. It's a nice scale. This is a really nice quality silk. Occasionally, it's great to do a little fresh arrangement, maybe some tulips, something seasonal, just in a little vase. It just lifts your spirits. You have a picture of the kids, right? So Virginia and Fletcher when they were little. So the things that motivate you to work hard and to do your job. Artwork I love, so I might have, over me I have a really cool just
I'm losing you a little bit, might because you're way out in the woods. So Michelle's going to connect back whenever we start the process again and she gets back on track. Then she could finish what she was saying because she was mostly talking about artwork and how important that is to have that around you in that space. You froze a little bit, so I kind of
sorry. Yeah, I think it's my connection today. It's a little wonky. Can you see me?
Yes, I can hear you and see you.
Okay. Okay. So, and then keep it uncluttered as much as possible too. So you have those little things that are meaningful to you, but then you need to have your Surface work from for your laptop, or to make note. Keep a few books on my desk as well. Maybe you have something special. Like I have a little. This is just a little compact that was given to me. With something cute and funny on it that one of my friends had given me years ago that says "Stop me before I volunteer again." So that was just sort of like a glimpse into my past life, or some inspirational saying, something like that. Right now, like this is an example of just things that I'm working on. This is a little floor plan that I've worked on. Some color paint samples that so I have just so keep it organized. You can buy organizers at places that are still open, like Target, for your files. I like to use like a little for files that I'm currently working on. So something like can you when you can travel again. Um, yeah, that would be my advice for just creating the surface and the space, from which you're working currently. And
Okay.
I would say to minimize, the distractions and the interruptions. So make sure it's a place that's relatively quiet when at all possible, so you're not being distracted while you're working. Because again, in order to feel a sense of accomplishment, right? To be able to say, hey, I got that done today, right? So
Yes. So Michelle was going in and out just a little bit. So mostly she was just letting you guys know that you can create a space even if you have a designated office or if you don't have one. So say if there's two people working at home and then you have an office, maybe your husband's there, but maybe you have to work too. So create a space. It could be in your bedroom, a spare bedroom, somewhere, maybe in your basement. If you're just in an apartment and you only have one bedroom or one open space, then maybe you do need to go into your bedroom and at least try to find some type of workspace that you can set up, whether that's on your dresser and you put a chair in front of it. But the ultimate key is to make sure everything's organized and that you are focused on what you need to do when you're sitting at that desk. Okay. And in general, like there you can always order things online now also too, like filing little systems, and they're like Tupperware type of things where you can put files in. But to keep yourself organized while you're home or have a designated space for your workspace at home. So I think that is something that we definitely need to work, and help people with the trend. It's a general thing, right? But people don't realize what you're doing in your space and how that affects the energy that you're putting into your work. Okay. So, like I was saying earlier, try not to make your workspace at your sofa where you eat dinner, right? Or something like that. Like some people are eating dinner
right, or
on their sofas,
yes,
or eating dinner at their table. So let's not make that a workspace. Let's make that designated for what it is usually designated for and create a space that is going to make you feel good. whether you have sounds, like I like soft sounds. So what I'm listening to right now, like I said earlier, is that meditative mind, but it is raise your vibration, and it's 432 hertz. Hertz is a vibration that our bodies are always vibing, right? So when you're listening to a system, or it's called mostly sound therapy, when you're listening to a note or a melody, what that's going to do is it's going to calm and settle your body. So maybe some people that are hyper should do more calming. Some people that maybe feel like they're getting depressed should do something uplifting, a little bit of motivation, maybe a motivational talk or a motivational video that's going to amp you up to set your mind up for the success that you need in your home while working at home and dealing with all of this going on right now. Okay. Because I know our mind's getting a lot of attention coming from everywhere, from the news, from your friends, from everyone telling you what you should think and what you should feel. But in general, you should know how to release those thoughts out of your mind and also move forward in what you have to do for today, right? Because those thoughts are going to be in there. It's going to be harder for you to get your clarity when you're thinking of all the other things that are going on in the world. So sometimes set yourself up to win before you have a meeting or before you're getting your work done. And maybe you can get your work done in a quicker time now that you're home without so many distractions, because you do have distractions at work also. So you could probably like maybe do a 2 hour work time frame, give yourself a little break, and then come back in an hour and do another 2 hour time frame and get everything done first thing in the morning. And then you have the rest of the time to do what you would like. So we did talk about creating the space, and that promotes more productivity. So that could be if you do have an office and both you and your husband do have to share that office and you don't want to create another space, a great thing is like, what time are you going to be working today? And then I'll work at this time frame, right? So that you know you negotiate, but you're communicating on having a designated space for you to be able to function and work. Do you want to say anything,
Right.
Michelle?
And I think I know we talked to last time uh, because our theme last time was the dining room. So try to keep certain spaces, if you can, exclusively for the room that that's designated for. So I don't like to, if I can avoid it, work in the dining room because I feel like
Okay,
the
so
dining room should always be a, there's dining, there's a little space if you need to. Again, if there's not the designated home office, and keep it as serene as possible.
right. So repeat that what you said because you kind of went out a little bit.
Yeah, I know. Again, I think it's sadly, I think it's my internet connection. But so I was saying, to keep certain rooms designated for that sole purpose. So the dining room, for instance, should be for dining, right? And like you said, try not to work while you're snacking in front of the TV. Maybe just, again, move to that designated area that's set up exclusively for working.
Yes, totally agree with that. So then we're going to just do a quick reframe of what we were talking about. Find a designated space. That'd be a great thing to do this weekend, right? So for the Feel Good Friday, the reason we want to get on here, we want you to feel good in your space. I know everyone's a little bit miserable. I'm a little bit miserable. Michelle's a little bit miserable.
Just
We
a little
all are
bit.
sick of this, all right? We're all
House
completely
arrest.
fed up, right? If we can like give everyone the finger, we probably would. Okay. Which I'm sure we have. So let's just be like, all right, we know what we have to do. And sometimes our body just doesn't want to do what we want to do. You know what I mean? Sometimes we're like, fuck it, we just don't want to do it. Okay. So that being said, you need to know in your mindset what you're willing to do and what you're willing not to do right now. Okay. If this feels like it's going to make you feel good, I suggest that it would be a nice thing to do this weekend to create an office space. Now, the only reason I'm saying that, and everyone's probably like, well, it's the end of the month, we're probably going to be going back to work. Well, you don't really know. It depends on what state you're in, and they don't have guidelines on how quickly this is going to turn around. So we are still giving you this information because I think it's viable that most people may be now working from home. They're for a longer period of time, or maybe some companies are committed to letting people work at home 4 days or 2 days and, come in the office for 3 days. So I think this is a great chore to do over the weekend, is to find a designated space that's going to work for you and make it personal. Make it about you feeling good in your space. Make it about you showing up in your space and feeling amazing for the opportunities that you still have right now at this moment. Okay. Connecting with that feeling and the overall feeling of your self worth and your self mastery. When you connect in that world or in that energy of self and self mastery, this will make me feel like a better person. This will help me feel committed to this job that I'm doing now at work. So these are some of the things that I feel energetically can definitely help you. And like I said, Michelle created something great in her space. Hers, she created in her bedroom. You can create it wherever you need. If you do have an office, you could maybe put another desk in there and make it a dual office, right? And work out the times. But how about maybe if you don't have a designated space, but you feel like that will help you, do that. That will feel good for you. If it doesn't feel good for you, then that's totally fine. But energetically, you need to know where that energy in your home is and what it's designated for. Dining is designated for a dining experience with conversations. Work is related to a space that generates prosperity, abundance, and mindset. Okay. So you need to know where you want to create that in your home, because you're used to leaving your home to go and create that outside of your home. Now you have to create it in your home. So this is a really good time for us to figure out what's going to work for us and keep us feeling good in our space. Right, Michelle?
Agreed. Yes. And sometimes I will focus on something positive that I might be able to do working from home that I might not be able to do working, on site. So that would be things like listening to music of my choice. You were saying, having something calm in the background, calm sounds or music. I like to listen to, a certain genre or whatever, or I switch it up and, depending on my mood. Or I might have a mimosa like I'm doing today, which I wouldn't normally be able to do, right? Cheers. Yeah, at the office. So, or maybe I decide to keep my, pajama bottoms on.
Right. And
And
just put a top on.
right.
So
And put on a cute top.
but that is so true. Like, I mean, I feel like you need to know what feels good. And maybe if just by dressing up from the waist up is going to make you feel good, then do it. All right.
Right.
It still makes us feel like a person. So, whatever is going to make you feel like a successful, creative person in your workspace is what you need to do for you. It's going to look different for everyone. Okay. So you need to know what looks good and feels good for you. And that's what our conversations are about on here. It's about helping you feel good, helping you clarify your energy in your space right now and what that looks like for you and your family. Um, I would love if you have any questions to make sure you put that in any of the comments below and share this with anyone that you think may like this experience, right? So we'll be doing this every Friday at 12:30. And I think that's a really good time just because it's in the middle of the day when maybe people are taking a break and maybe they need a little bit of inspiration, right? We forget what we know other people don't know. Okay, so our knowledge, our normal is not the same as everyone else's normal. So it's great to share our stories and our messages with people. And this is how they may open up their gifts that they didn't know they had. And they may learn something new about themselves or their environment, and they can share that with someone else. So that's exactly what we're doing here at this moment. We're giving you tools, we're giving you blueprints to be able to create a day that you can celebrate in many, many forms and many ways, right? You can get your family involved, creating a space or a workspace for you, and make that like a family thing with your kids. Like, well, what should I do? Where should we move this? How can you help me? And like make it fun, right? And just tell your kids there's one special picture I want to put on my desk, and you get one from the house. There's one special thing I want. Can you guys go find it? Make it like a search and hunt, or, kids love that kind of stuff. So I think this is an overall experience that can work for everyone. But for you, you need to know what works for you and how you want to feel in your space. And that's technically what this is about. Okay, so we're down to the last 5 minutes. We will share any other final thoughts. Michelle, do you have any final thoughts that you would like to share, other than our hair is getting so freaking long and it's everywhere?
Right. It sure is.
It's like I have to do
Yes.
my hair, and it's like, all right, totally off the subject.
Yes. Yeah. Definitely. Looking forward to the day when I can see my hairdresser again. Miss
Right?
you, Keith. Doing my best.
Yes. So we are here for you. Like I said, we're going to post this video just to, show you, like I said, it's 30 minutes. It's a quick video. It's going to give you some ideas, give you some, like tools you can use this weekend if you want to do something fun. And if you haven't created a space, then why not? Why not create a space for yourself? It doesn't have to be a workspace. Maybe you want a meditative space, right? Where you want somewhere that you can meditate and you can relax. That's the same thing as a working space. So you can generalize this for whatever type of space you need to use in your home at the moment that's going to make you feel good. Whether you want a meditative state, whether you want a place where you can work, whether you want a place where you can do your crafts, find a space that's going to make you feel good inside, right? Yes, Michelle.
Agreed.
Okay.
Yes, 100%. Absolutely. Again, it's creating a workspace that works for you, right? Because a workspace that works for you doesn't necessarily work for me. So it's all about creating a workspace that works for you.
Totally agree. Awesome. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for watching the replay. Like I said, give us a shout out. Click the subscribe button if you're on YouTube. Since this is rolling live on YouTube, we're going to be bringing out this every Friday, Feel Good Friday, for the rest of the year. So we want to be able to share our knowledge with you. Like I said, everyone has knowledge because you all have different fields that you've been in. The key is sharing it, sharing your story so other people's stories can shine and they can feel good in their space. Awesome, everyone. Thank you. Once again, this is Kerry Morgan, your holistic lifestyle mentor, and that is Michelle. Say what you do.
And I'm an interior designer.
So we're working all those little hiccups, right? So we want to make sure that you know who we are and what we do. You can follow Michelle on Michelle Sapp. She's under any of those on Facebook and LinkedIn. So
Yeah. And then on Instagram, Michelle's Fab Designs. Yeah, just Michelle's Fab Designs. Yep.
Perfect. Yes, Michelle Fab's Design is there. And I'm on as Kerry Morgan or 21st Century Blueprint, either one, right? Creating space in the 21st century so that you can show up for the life you want to live. Awesome, everyone. We will be back next Friday at 12:30. Like I said, if you have any questions, we're going to try to promote this a little bit more and put up information. So if there's questions in any of our feeds before, we'll answer them here for you. Okay, thanks. We look forward to seeing you again, and stay healthy and happy.
Bye.
Bye.